right, man. Let me ask you a question, man. See if you know what's up. Big this. Who fuses the music with no illusions, producing the blueprints? Clueless automator, defy the laws of nature. Electronic monolith, throw a jam upon the disc. The futuristic looping with the quickness. Hyper-producing hydrogen fusion liquids.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Happy Halloween. Today is October 31st, 2025. This is a Friday, and this is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief Takeover. I am your host, Zach Hill, coming to you live from IT Career Questions. Happy Halloween, everybody. If you are looking to get informed on the top cyber news of the day while engaging with a lively group of people who are all about good times, inclusion, and support, you are in the right place, my friend. We're going to be kicking it straight up today all day, having some fun and jaw-jacking at the end. So please stay tuned. We got a great one for you. We're off and running. Everybody, welcome to the party. Going more with an Optimus Prime vibe until further notice, as I can't see with the Zach Hill mask on. But Zach Hill will be making some other appearances throughout the day today, so don't worry about that. We've got him on deck. Listen, this is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. This is the Halloween episode. We got a great show for you. I want you to know that I don't research or prep for any of the stories that are coming up. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We're too busy getting costumes together, making homemade Zach Hill faces. I mean, who isn't making a Zach Hill face today? Guys, we got a good one. I want you to know we're going to go through 8 stories. One of the value propositions that I promise you is that we're going to give you the headlines and the surface level of the story, but we go beyond that. We have a lot of professionals, a lot of practitioners who are here in chat with us and in the green room. DJ Bisek is in the house today. And we're going to go beyond the headlines and give you those insights, that value that you wouldn't necessarily get unless you had sat in the seat, unless you'd lived through those experiences, unless you had those scars that can only be earned through experience. We are here to level you up and make you as awesome as you want to be. On top of all that, every single episode is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat. Say hello, grab a screenshot, maybe include the date, time, which is in the title of the episode 996. File it away, and once a year, count those screenshots, divide by 2. That's how many CPEs you got. Kayla Sturgeon did the math. And you can get up to 120 CPEs per year. 120 CPEs. Yes, Zach, calm down. You can get up to 120 CPEs. What's up, Space Tacos? 29 months. Love it, love it, love it. On top of all that, guys, if today's your first episode, you picked a fun one. Yeah, Tech Grunt. We could have a Zach Hill gang. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat. I do want to say shout out. I've gone and done some public speaking engagements the last couple. I did 2 this week, and I had multiple people come up to me at both of them and say, hey, I want you to know that I've been listening to the show for a while. It gets me pumped up. It breaks down kind of like the monotony of my job as I drive into work. And I thank you. I've never said what's up in chat. So for all those who are
we just become best friends.
Yep. All those that are in chat right now or listening on replay or listening on audio that are Simply Cyber community members, I see you. I know you identify as a Team SC member, and you just don't hit the chat. That's fine. I see you. Welcome to the party. We love having you here. Quick shout out to James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet with us. Super chat. Traveling at 35K right now for the SC Con this weekend. Looking forward to seeing everyone. And shout out to Tiffany Taylor and Mara Levy, Team SC, who I met at ISC2 Security Congress. Coffee cup cheers. That's right. And don't sleep on Mara Levy. She is speaking on track 2 at Simply CyberCon at 9:45. And her talk title has something around Goonies Never Say No or Goonies Never Die. It's definitely a Goonies reference. So for those reasons, I'm already all in. Push the chips to the middle of the table for Mara Levy's talk. Guys, before we get into it, I do want to say I'm excited for James McQuiggan to come into town. He's going to be trick-or-treating with me and the family later today. That's super exciting. And then around all weekend. A good friend, if you get a chance, I would say make it a point to meet James McQuiggan. He's just a phenomenal person. Kathy Chambers is in the house. Good morning, Kathy Chambers. Guys, before we get into it, let me say shout out and thank you to all the stream sponsors, those who enable me. Like, listen, without the stream sponsors, you know what I can't do? I can't do this at work. I'm at work right now, but I'm also Zach Hill. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm Optimus Prime. You can't do that in a normal 9 to 5. And I'm able to do it because of the stream sponsors. They enable me to do this. Now, when they decided to sponsor, I didn't mention in the proposal that I was going to be a lunatic, but that's okay. It's how we roll up in here. All right, guys. Dude, anti-siphon training, disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry with cutting-edge, high-quality education. I want to call your attention to next Wednesday, November 5th, for the Anti-Cast. They do this every Wednesday, and every Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m., they offer a 1-hour webinar that's absolutely free for you, where you can attend, pick up a new skill, meet some more people, learn about practitioners. It's a value force multiplier. And if you want to hear about hacking JavaScript desktop apps, well, Abraham Araguren's got you covered next Wednesday. Go to antisiphotraining.com. Link in the description below. I'll link directly to this webcast if you want to get up on that one. Marcus Kyler says, just want to thank you so much for putting me right after lunch for SCCon. What a pal. Dude, I'll tell you what, Marcus Kyler, I needed to put an anchor right after lunch. Here's the deal. After lunch, people are like, oh my God, having like table chatter and stuff like that. And then they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Marcus Kyler is speaking right now. Get up and let's go. So don't you worry about it, Marcus Kyler. You might see it as a negative. I'm telling you, it is a positive. And anyone who falls asleep at Marcus Kyler's talk, I'll wake you up. Actually, you know what? Zach Hill will wake you up. Hey, wake up, wake up. And if you aren't happy about it, remember, it's Zach Hill waking you up. All right. All right. I also want to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors, Flare Academy, guys. Anti-Siphon is doing the webcast series. Flare Academy is taking the webcast series and leveling it up even further with 2 hours of education. Now, they don't do it every week. They do it less frequently. But if you are a vulnerability management professional and you want to get into learning about CTEM and continuous threat exposure management, which is really around misconfiguration, mishandled identities, and technical vulnerabilities, those three kind of blended together, and looking at not only your attack surface, but attack paths to get to critical assets. If everything I just said sounds interesting, but you don't fully understand it, this is the talk that you need to go to. GRC Mafia, giddy up on this. You want to check it out. Go to simplycyber.io/flare. Register for this talk, November 5th, 11 to 1. You could literally pick or choose your adventure, right? Hacking JavaScript, maybe that's not your bag. You want to do more GRC stuff. Here you go. Choose your own adventure. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, I am so excited to be here. We are off and running on a beautiful Friday morning. Stay tuned for the mid-roll because James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, that man who dropped super chats in, is going to be dropping dad jokes in here too. Literally, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. This guy lives at Mount Everest levels more often than he's at sea level. You picking up what I'm putting down, people? Quick word from Threat Locker, and then we're going to dive into it. Let's go. Thank you for being here. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, everybody, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news
from the CISO series. It's cybersecurity headlines.
Wash over us. See you guys at the mid-roll.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, October 31st, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. LinkedIn users have until Monday to opt out of its AI training program. As reported by Graham Cluley, the Microsoft-owned professional networking site has quietly announced that as of this upcoming Monday, November the 3rd, it will start using profile details, public posts, feed activity data, and more from users in the UK, the EU, Switzerland, Canada, and Hong Kong to train its artificial intelligence models. These countries had been excluded from its AI training models to this point. Private messages will not be used, LinkedIn says. Additional data from LinkedIn will also be, quote, shared with other Microsoft-related business entities for the purpose of serving up more personalized and relevant ads, end quote. New names.
All right. Okay, here we go. Let's not be naive, okay? Like, first of all, as soon as the stream's over, I'm going to disable this, right? Now, there's like 1 billion users on LinkedIn. I'm sure Microsoft's going to get a ton of information. But data's the new gold. Data's the new gold. And LinkedIn, Microsoft bought LinkedIn for, billions of dollars or whatever. You don't think they're trying to get their money back, right? And all I can say is at least we found out about it, right? I mean, on it, like between you and me, right? If Graham Cluley hadn't done this article, it hadn't been in today's news, I wouldn't have known about it. I log into LinkedIn like 50 times a day. Like I don't remember any pop-up saying, "Hey, user, we'd like to harvest your data so we can sell it to advertisers and make money off your back. Are you cool with that? Please click here." No. I do find it not surprising, but at the same time gross that you're opted in by default. What's his Charles Finfrock said this one time about, these companies harvesting your data. And if you don't know Charles Finfrock, he hasn't been on the show in a while, but he is a good friend and a community member. And his whole take was like, dude, just cut me in on it. I'll give you all my data. Just give me a little taste, Send me a check once a year. You made $30 billion. Send me a check for $100. I'm in. Like, yeah, I'll plug into the back of my head. Give me 1,000 a year. I'll plug in my head. You can harvest my thoughts too, whatever you want, but give me something for it, James. So a lot of people are disabling it on their profile. If you want to know how to do it, go on to LinkedIn, go to settings and privacy, go to data privacy, and disable your generative AI prompt. I would do it live on stream, but I don't know what. I mean, I don't have anything to hide, but at the same time, I don't know what sensitive information might appear on stream. And if you want, actually, here's a bonus. In LinkedIn, you can go to settings and then advertising data, scroll down, and you can actually disable from other ads. So anyways, this is no surprise, guys. Like, they make it an uphill battle. There's so much money in data. There's so much money in PII and advertising to certain people. I will tell you this, just in full disclosure, right? The story here is not cyber related. It's personal privacy. You may want to, actually, if you want to be the champion at work today, happy Halloween, everyone. Click, here. If you want to disable LinkedIn from harvesting your data, right? Oh, wait, hold on. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, I see it. So DJ BSEC has provided this graphic so you can see all the different ways LinkedIn's using your data. You can disable it all. For me, dude, if I was going to be a champion at work today, thank you, BSEC. If I was going to be a champion at work today, just make it pure and simple. Hey, LinkedIn is harvesting your data, right? Just use that word. It's true, but harvesting your data sounds very visceral to me. I would say LinkedIn's harvesting your data. If you don't want to be ingested by AI, go on LinkedIn and go here, and disable it with a screenshot. Simple. I wouldn't talk about impact. I wouldn't talk about politics. I wouldn't talk about privacy regulation. I would just offer it up to someone, right? You might even, also, you might want to say, you have until Monday to do this before LinkedIn, vacuums or hoovers, if you're old like me, hoovers your data, right? So time is of the essence. Also, watch out. I heard in Rockland, Mass, parents are finding LinkedIn AI ingestions in Snicker bars. So be careful out there this week or tonight, trick or treating. They're putting LinkedIn AI into the apples up in Rockland, Mass. So watch out.
Surface for NSA leadership. After months of being led in an acting capacity by Army Lieutenant General William Hartman, the National Security Agency is apparently, quote, readying a number of senior personnel moves meant to reinvigorate the organization, end quote. Army Lieutenant General Paul Stanton, currently the leader of the Cyber Command's network defense arm, and Air Force Lieutenant General Thomas Hensley, the head of Air Force Information Warfare Command, are, quote, considered to be frontrunners for the job, according to 3 people familiar with the administration's search, end quote. Open source.
All right. Okay, so a couple things also really quickly, just to go back to this LinkedIn story, because now I'm thinking about it. Like, imagine, if you will, LinkedIn or Microsoft just ingested all the data anyways, despite what you opted into. They can't undo that, right? And then what? Class action lawsuit. They lose $300 million. Everybody here gets like 50 cents, and they probably sell the data for more than $300 million. Again, just being really, really logical and objective. It's funny that, like, hey, a bunch of suits sitting around a desk on the 80th floor being like, let's do the math here, people. All right, so really quick, the head of the NSA is not a light position, right? The NSA is the leader in intelligence gathering. I know the CIA is central intelligence, but the NSA is basically like cyber intel, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's the spy agency, okay? We do a lot of cyber operations out of the NSA, a lot of things that people have never heard of out of the NSA. And leadership is important, right? You might say, oh, the staff do the work, but, leadership sets direction. Leadership makes tough choices. And there hasn't been a leader there. Now, unfortunately, it would appear that a lot of the mucking around here is not really related to capability or competency. It's related to politics, right? So Timothy Ho got fired by Trump. There was some speculation that this could have been completely unrelated to his capabilities and more related to, some of the beliefs on how he wanted to run the NSA, without not getting too into it. And then, I guess you can read between the leaves here. A far right activist is the one who takes claims for firing him. So you can read between the lines there. It's a coveted position. There's only a few people in the United States who can do it, right? I mean, you can't just, hire anyone, right? It's typically a 4-star, 3-star general. You can see here, Lieutenant General Thomas Hensley, Lieutenant General Paul Stanton are both, considered in the front running. Lieutenant General is a 3-star general for those who are following along at home. So yeah, we'll see. I hope they get it sorted out, and I hope we get back to more about capability and execution, especially normally I would be like, who cares? Like, whatever. But dudes, like, cyber is a massive nation state capability right now. China has been doing all sorts of cyber operations. Russia, Sandworm was in the news yesterday around doing operations, right? So the NSA is like, to say the NSA is like the United States Sandworm kind of sounds dirty. It's like putting like red dye in water, right? Like you're mucking it up and you're kind of conflating the two. But I'm sure from a Russian's POV, like the NSA kind of looks like that. So I hope we get it sorted out. Again, this is what can you learn about this for something that benefits you, right? Because I feel like we're just, children on the boat as this thing gets sorted out, right? Or children at Thanksgiving watching mom and dad yell at each other. Okay. We're just like, okay. For professionals in chat, the larger the company, the more political, the more infighting, the more Game of Thrones, if you will, it becomes at the senior levels. Larger companies have massive power. Even smaller companies will get into bickering and pissing matches, but larger companies that have big money and big power spheres, the people who are in those, they don't want to leave that power, man. And they will infight. They will do all sorts of things. It's very much like Game of Thrones. And you yourself may have seen this or been a victim of this. Sometimes there's collateral damage, man. I know people who have been fired. I mean, this guy, Timothy Ho, got fired, not because of capability, but I personally know people that have been let go for different reasons, right? That's why, honestly, this is why when a new CIO, a new CISO, a new CEO, a new CFO gets hired and brought in, especially CIO or CISO for people in chat right now, when they get brought in, you better, get the resume dusted up, because sometimes it's not uncommon for them to bring in their own people because they want their people, they want their team, they want their support group, so they can, shuck and jive and maneuver in the Game of Thrones, right? It's crazy, man. All right.
Security group pulls out of U.S. grant citing DEI restrictions.
Oh, wow.
The Python Software Foundation, which promotes safe and secure Python coding practices and helps oversee PyPy, the world's largest open source code repository for Python, said yesterday it will withdraw from a $1.5 million research grant from the National Science Foundation. Lauren Crary, the foundation's deputy executive director, said, quote, "The organization could not agree to language in the contract that required a confirmation that the foundation would not, quote, operate any programs that advance or promote diversity, equity, and inclusion," end quote. Business.
All right, what? Open source security group. So again, I guess today is politics day. This has nothing to do with the capability of this open source security group. This has nothing to do with the the grant money of the United States. But anytime anyone gives you money, right? Except Teddy KGB, right? Anytime anyone gives you money as a grant or free or whatever, sometimes most times there's like terms to that money. Here's how you can spend it. Here's how you cannot spend it. Here's where a certain portion needs to go, etc. Right? So the Python Software Foundation, who oversees PyPy, which many of us know, you should know what PyPy is. PyPI. PyPy. It's the largest open source Python repository. And the reason it's so important is because in my experience, a lot of security practitioners, both on the offensive side and the defensive side, write code and tools, etc., in Python. So it gets used quite a bit. Now, the NSF gave them $1.5 million grant. And just so you know, I coming from the nerdery, NSF grants are like the coveted golden grants, right? Like getting an NSF grant is not easy. And it is super, awesome when you get one. People were pumped at the Python Software Foundation to get the money. And then they realized that the money included terms affirming the statement that they do not and will not offer financial assistance to any programs that promote or advance DEI. So I got to tell you, this is one of those ones where the money would have been great. $1.5 million for like an open source project is super valuable, but this anti-DEI or, whatever you want to call it, policy from the federal level has percolated down or propagated. What the hell is that word? Propagated? DJ B-Sex typing instantly. Propagated. No, propagated. It's propagated down into how money gets allocated, and even something as scientific and as scientifically objective as it is, National Science Foundation is also saying it. So shout out to Python Software Foundation. I got to tell you guys, it's easy to take money, right? I'll give you an example. Imagine it, if you will. Vanta came to me. You guys know how I feel about Vanta. Vanta came to me and they're like, we'll give you $20,000 to do some work with us. And I was like, no, I don't wanna, right? That's putting your money where your mouth is, right? If I was like, all right, I don't like you, but I'm willing to compromise my values for some straight cash, homie. Straight cash, homie. Right? So whatever. I mean, Python, I will tell you this though. I'll tell you this. And I'm being real. The Python Software Foundation. Hold on. If you're a squad member, please use the tinfoil hat right now, because what I'm about to say is absolutely.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. Jack Joy Jr. Super Chat. Samsonite. Oh man, I was way off. Dumb and Dumber reference, drink, and a excellent Dumb and Dumber. Propagate. Oh, Samsonite. I was way off. Swarmy. Okay. I will tell you. Here's my hot take on this one. All right. Hot take. Zach Hill's giving you a hot take on this one. The Python Software Foundation absolutely has enough money to be able to decline $1.5 million. If they were hemorrhaging, they absolutely would take this. And I know it's an ethics thing, but think for a second. Imagine if you will, that I'm about to get kicked out of my house. I'm about to lose my house. I'm about to lose my car. I'm about to lose, I can't feed my kids, right? And Vanta comes to me and they're like, we'll give you $20,000. As much as that pill would taste awful, I would be an idiot not to do it, right? So I'm just saying, I'm happy that Python Software Foundation is in a position to be able to make this choice and stand by their values. But just so you know, that's my speculative hot take. Excuse me, that's Zach Hill's speculative hot take. Listen to me, I'm Zach Hill. I know what I'm saying.
Rival credits Cyberattack on Marks & Spencer for boosting its profits. British clothing retailer Next reported that it was, quote, continuing to see sales overperform in the wake of a cyber attack on its rival, Marks & Spencer, end quote. The company credits, quote, favorable weather conditions and competitor disruption, end quote, for a surge in sales in the first half of this year. According to reports from analytics company Kantar, Marks & Spencer rivals that had an online presence, such as Zara, H&M, and Sainsbury's, all experienced a sales uplift, while clothing retailers without a significant online presence, such as Primark, did not.
Imagine that. Like, dude, from the office of, like, I hate to be such an a-hole about this, but from the office of obviously, actually, dude, so an online company that made, X millions of dollars gets screwed up by a ransomware threat actor, and their rivals record record profits. Guys, let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. Fire Marshal Bill, drink. Let me tell you guys, okay? We are consumers, okay? And we don't care. This is the J.G. Wentworth of retail. I want my yoga mat, and I want it now. I want my Magic the Gathering Foundation's Play Booster box, and I want it now. I don't care if it comes from Amazon or Walmart or Target, although I don't shop at Target anymore. But I don't care, okay? What I want is a good price, and I want it as soon as possible. Gimme, right? So check it out. This should come as no surprise to anyone. Dude, if Amazon, which I shop at a lot, if Amazon suffered a massive cyber attack and was down for 2 weeks, do any of you, including you, Zach Hill, Do any of you think for a minute that you would be like, oh man, I guess I'll just wait until Amazon comes back because of my loyalty to the brand? No, you would open another tab, you would type walmart.com, you'd hit enter, and you would type in yoga mat, and then you would say, send it to me. This is like the most obvious economic, this is what free market looks like, bro. Now, I will tell you from a cyber practitioner perspective, if I worked in retail, okay, if I worked in retail, I would be like, hey, we should probably increase our security budget, only because in existing, this gets into like business and psychology of consumerism and all that other crap. So please bear with me. This isn't cyber related, but it is important to this story. And it's things I've read up on now that I own a business. An existing customer is more likely to purchase from you again, especially if they have a good experience, than a customer who's never bought from you before. So, M&S or S&M, if you're dyslexic, oh, meow on Halloween. Sure, they're back up and people will probably go back to using them, right? If I go to Walmart because Amazon's down and Amazon comes back, I'm probably going to go back to Amazon at some point for stuff, but there's cracks in the dam now, right? You've given exposure to your competitors, which means you could certainly lose, get churn on your customers and stuff like that. So if I was a retail group, I'd be like, holy crap, guys, this is a legit warning for us to learn from. So if you work in retail in information security, absolutely flag this story and weaponize it to get more budget for yourself. Additionally, this is a speculative hot take. Dude, I mean, capitalism, greed is good. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street, 1987, right? Drink. And that's a good one for the youngs in chat. You guys go check out the movie Wall Street. All I'll say here is that I could see, executives being like, "Hey, we could hire a ransomware threat actor group on the side to attack our rival. Could boost our Black Friday numbers." I don't know. This is kind of a scary development, right? Let's see what happens on Black Friday this year.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Conveyor. Security reviews don't have to feel like a hurricane. Most teams are buried in back and forth emails and never-ending customer requests for documentation or answers. But Conveyor takes all that chaos and turns it into calm. AI fills in the questionnaires, your trust center is always ready, and sales cycles move without stalls. Breathe easier. Check out Conveyor at www.conveyor.com. That is CONVEYOR.com.
All right, you know what we're doing today? All right, holla, holla, holla. Thank you all for being here today. Definitely appreciate it. Do say hello to @IT Career Questions, both in chat and on stream. Shout out to all of you guys. Happy Halloween. We got a rogue takeover here. Zach Hill doing the show. Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. Shout out to the stream sponsors, Flare, Threat Locker, Anti-Siphon, and Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is crushing it, and right now they are running their webinar series that you should know about. Happy Halloween, Zach. Barricade Cyber Solutions is running their 4 to 5 webinar series right now, and you can get on it November 5th, 1 p.m. A lot of actual things happening on November. Hold on one second. I hope you can hear the music. All right, cool. Check it out. 4 to 5, 365. Session 6, Microsoft Cloud App Security. Look on stream right now. There's so much value in this webinar. It's ridiculous. You're going to learn how to create alert-driven policies, integrate Microsoft Defender for Endpoint with Azure AD, configure key settings for visibility, verify all configurations are working, So valuable. Go to webinars.barricadecyber.com today. Sign up. Don't miss this educational opportunity with Eric Taylor at Barricade Cyber Solutions. It's all about good times. Good times? I'm all about good times. Why are you doing the ad read, Jerry? This is my show. All right, Zach. Can we do it together? We can do it together, Jerry. You're my friend. All right, let's do it. All right. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Zach, I got some jokes for you. Oh, that's great. All right. So every day of the week has a special segment, and Fridays is James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet jokes of the week. I just tried to unlock my phone with Face ID, and it read Zach's face, so it didn't work. All right, here we go, Zach. Zach, why are ghosts so bad at lying? Why are ghosts so bad at lying, Zach? I don't know. Because you can see right through them. That's hilarious, Jerry. All right, everybody. Why are ghosts great to invite to parties? Why are ghosts great to invite to parties? They bring all the booze, Zach. They bring all the booze. Zach, why don't you tell this one? Okay. Why? Hey, everybody, it's Zach Hill here. Why is a cemetery a great place to write a story? Because there are so many plots there. Oh, my God, there's so many plots at the cemetery. Why are cemeteries so popular, Zach? People are dying to get in there. Oh, my God, people are dying to get in there. And then finally, Zach, why are cemeteries always in the middle of towns? Why are they always in the middle of towns? Because they're dead center. Oh, my God. All right, guys, let the la-la-las wash over you. Thank you, James McQuiggan. Thank you, Zach Hill. Let's keep cooking, y'all. Let it wash over you. Feel it. Move your body to it. All right. Happy Halloween, everyone. Work doesn't have to suck. We can have fun and deliver cybersecurity excellence. Let's do the second half of the show. And thank you, Zach Hill. Always a good man. Let's keep cooking here.
Marketing agency Dentsu says its U.S. unit suffered a cyber attack and breach. Merkle, the U.S. subsidiary of the Japanese multinational advertising and public relations company Dentsu, suffered an attack recently that resulted in the theft of files exposing, quote, supplier, client, and employee data, including personal, payroll, and national insurance details, end quote. A statement posted on the Dentsu website did not elaborate on exactly when this happened. Merkle is a customer experience agency that specializes in data-driven, performance-based marketing. It is unclear at this point whether ransomware was involved.
When you're forced systems offline and exposing data, that sounds like a ransomware attack. Hold on, let me check my notes. Yes, that's a ransomware attack. He's right, Oh, thank you, Zach. Jeez, Zach Hill coming in with the assist. Merkle, a customer experience management company. Never heard of that term before. But, the good thing is, here's the thing. I just want to be really clear with everyone. We cannot just crap on companies that get hit with ransomware or get hit by cyber attacks. Now, if it's discovered that they didn't have MFA, if they didn't patch their things, if their staff were loosey-goosey with credentials, then we can dunk on them. But from a GRC perspective, you cannot reduce all risk. You always have to accept some risk. I don't care how great you are. You have to accept some risk. And it's in those margins that, sophisticated threat actors can get in and do things. So the good news is it's not just cybersecurity, it's cyber resiliency. And you can see, according to the PR of the firm, right? So, put a kosher salt-sized piece of salt on this. They initiated IR procedures immediately and shut down systems proactively and took measures to reduce the impact, right? Sounds like they have someone in their office that works in GRC who absolutely knows what they're doing. So shout out to the GRC people of the world. All right, cool. I do want to tell you one quick thing, like whatever. This is just some company that's suffering some attack from some cyber threat actor. I don't want to be insensitive and say who cares, because some people are bothered, but I want to bubble up the perspective here for practitioners. You know, Space Tacos, I didn't do Thriller on purpose because I knew that would be an immediate copyright strike and probably block the show, like potentially even immediate, like while I'm streaming. So, what I want to tell you guys about this particular one right here is the speed in which this company responded, right? Immediately took actions, proactively took systems offline to minimize impact. I guarantee you, okay, I will bet money that matters, right? I'll bet money that means, you know, it would be meaningful to me that this company absolutely does tabletop exercises for the reason that you are dealing with an active incident and you turn systems off. Guys, you don't just run down the data center with hands up on either side, smashing the power button on all the data center server blades, right? You don't do that. You surgically shut down the systems that you need to in order to minimize the impact. How do you know what systems? I'm glad you asked. Hold on. Which systems do you do? I'm glad you asked, Zach Hill. You have to have already worked through with the business leaders, the system owners, IT, and worked through what is mission critical? What is business impact look like? What processes do we have to be mindful of? And, you know, what order do we have to shut these systems down in order to minimize impact? All of those conversations had to have happened before. And then there's a playbook. If this, then that. Basic programming 101. If we see this, shut this down. Let's get approval from everybody. Done. Let's move forward. I can tell you the same thing happens on bringing systems up as well. This is another thing people don't think about. When you have complicated environments like, oh, I don't know, let's say you're a multinational manufacturing company with facilities in Brazil, facilities in England, facilities in Japan, and you're hyper automating everything and AD, all the things, file servers everywhere, different languages, and you get hit with a ransomware incident that knocks out everything. If you try to stand something up in Brazil, but it has dependencies on things in England, and those dependencies aren't up, the Brazil thing doesn't work, and maybe it gets all dorked up, and you have to shut it down. And then maybe you try to stand the thing up in in England, that the Brazil server needed as a dependency, and that thing has a dependency. So now you're wasting time trying to basically flip switches and see if something sticks. This is why tabletop exercises are valuable. If you do tabletop exercise once a year as a Olympic event where everybody flies in and you treat it like it's this mega event, 8 hours, you're not getting the value. It's the same thing as doing cybersecurity awareness training. I'm getting mad now. It's the same thing as doing cybersecurity awareness training once a year in a 1 hour PowerPoint. Do you really think that that is reducing risk in any meaningful way? The answer is no. Just like tabletop exercises that are treated as this like seminal event doesn't do crap. You need to be more consistent with them. You need to have smaller scenarios. You need to get buy-in. You need to normalize tabletop exercises. This company looks like they did it. Nice job. Sorry you got hit.
WhatsApp adds passkey protection to end-to-end encrypted backups. This new feature means that if you lose your device, you can use methods like fingerprint, face, or the screen lock code of your previous device to access WhatsApp's backup. This follows on from a backup encryption process that Meta added in 2021, but the addition of a passkey removes the need to dig up the recovery password. This feature will be rolled out over the next few months, and users can go to Settings, Chat Backup, End-to-End Encrypted Backup to determine whether the option is currently available.
All right. So WhatsApp, I mean, you couldn't, like, we have a family group chat on WhatsApp, and I just like refuse to participate. WhatsApp, it's one of these messenger apps, and they added backups or a passkey for end-to-end encrypted backups. So a couple of things here. Number one, shout out to WhatsApp. I don't personally like it, but end-to-end encrypted backups means that adversary in the middle can't get it. They're encrypted. They don't say what it's encrypted with. Let's assume that it's a currently unbreakable encryption algorithm. So that's good. And the backups help you restore in case you either get your phone stolen or, corrupted or whatever. I think the real benefit here, oh my gosh, the real benefit here is the utility of passkeys. Now, Bruce and Hacks and I did a video together on YouTube on what are passkeys, why are they better than passwords. So if you're in chat right now and you don't know anything about passkeys, go check that video out. Simply Cyber YouTube channel, passkeys. I published it like a couple months ago. Passkeys are better than passwords. Now they do have a deficiency because the passkeys are bound to the device that you're accessing the system from. But most of us access systems from our phone the same all the time, or access it from the same laptop or desktop or whatever. And when you get a new one, you have to register a new passkey. So hopefully, it is what it is. But passkeys are much more difficult to steal and use than passwords, right? Passwords are kind of brittle and sucky in 2025. So for those reasons, good job, WhatsApp. I will say that I appreciate this. This is one of those ones where this is a security control. And here's like the extra value for this story for practitioners. This is one of those ones where this feature did not, I guess maybe it helps sell WhatsApp, but a lot of time when you ask a software company, hey, we want to add more security, like providing passkeys for end-to-end encrypted backups. And they're like, all right, well, let's see what's on the sprint, right? Let's see what's in our backlog, right? These are agile software terms, right? And then there's two things. We can either implement a new feature, right? Like a new emoji keyboard, the ability to install animated GIFs, or we can install passkeys for end-to-end encrypted backups. The thing that users are going to do and make it a better user experience, that typically wins because it helps sell the product. Usually security doesn't sell the product. In fact, in some cases, it makes the product harder to use, which is why some software companies don't require MFA. Can't be having that friction introduced to end user experience. So typically security slides to the right? Or to the left, right? Beyonce, all your security features are in the box to the left, right? So this is a win. Good job. If I had to guess, I bet you there was some interest, some ask from the WhatsApp user base around being more pro-security, more pro-privacy, especially as federal governments continue to erode citizens' privacies. So yeah, good stuff, man. Love it. Let's go.
Cloud Atlas hackers target Russian agriculture sector ahead of industry forum. The Russia-based cybersecurity firm F6 has reported on a cyber espionage campaign by the state-backed threat actor Cloud Atlas targeting the country's agricultural center once again. The attack coincided with preparations for the Russian Agriculture Forum scheduled for the end of the month in Moscow. According to F6, the hackers sent phishing emails disguised as the event's official program, containing a malicious file that exploited an old Microsoft Office flaw active since 2017.
No, shift left, right? Get bake the security in. So yeah, the Beyonce reference was accurate. All right, so Cloud Atlas, cybersecurity, state-backed threat actor. We don't know who Cloud Atlas is. If you don't know, MITRE ATT&CK Framework is a great place to to check out threat actors. Flaming Donkey is yet to make it in here. But you can see here, this is Cloud Atlas right here on stream. I'm trying to look to see if they're also called Inception Framework or Inception. They've been around since 2014. The reason I brought it up is because I wanted to see if they were tied to Fancy Bear, Cozy Bear, any of these other Russian-based threat actors that are well known. It looks like it's not, so this is a completely different threat actor. And dude, Kathy Chambers, Zach Hill's friend and my friend and our friend Kathy Chambers. Hold on, Zach wants to say something. Hey, Kathy, check it out. This is an agriculture-related cybersecurity story. This would be great for your PhD. Zach, that's so kind of you. I know. I love you guys. All right. Love myself some Zach Hill, my Halloween costume for 2025. Cloud Atlas is sending phishing emails disguised as official invites with a malicious file attached, exploiting a 2017 Microsoft Office flaw. Still widely abused by criminals. Okay, so here's what I would say with this one. This one, I've never heard of F6. I'm not worried about Cloud Atlas, right? Immediately, what I would do is this story, CVE 2017-11882, actively being exploited by threat actors. Most people in their environment do have Microsoft Office applications, which means there's risk exposure there. I would patch this, right? Ooh, get into the memory here, right? There is an IOC here for the file, but I mean, really, this is a fingerprint. This can change so easily. It's ridiculous. Oh man, we got IDA in here. Dude, Unit 42 goes hard into the paint with their analysis. Look at this, man. If you're into like software exploitation and malware analysis, giddy up on this. I'm going to drop a link to this Unit 42 analysis. This looks pretty good. But as a practitioner, right, when I see this story or when I hear this story, I'm like, okay, Russian-based threat actors sending phishing emails as an initial infection, fine. Like, dude, phishing emails are still, greater than 50% of initial attack vector, right? Emails still work. So for me, we're already doing things to educate our end users on phishing, email security gateways to prevent phishing, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go down the kill chain a little bit and look at what we can do. This right here, CVE 2017-11882, still widely attacked, an 8-year-old vulnerability. Now, that I don't want to see in my environment. That's gross, dude. That's nasty, right?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Right? So for me, what I would do and what I would encourage you to do is I know we're all wicked busy, so maybe this isn't easy, but see if you have a vulnerability scanner in your environment, see if you can scan and look just for this vulnerability in your environment. Take an image of a gold load or gold image, right? Spin up an endpoint that's like the stock image that your workforce gets and test it to see if it's vulnerable to this CVE. If it is, you got a big problem. If it isn't, here's the listen really quickly. If Cloud Atlas or state-sponsored threat actor sends an email to everyone in your organization and you're not vulnerable to this vulnerability, guess what? It's like a catapult shooting a rock and it's smashing off of your castle wall. It doesn't work. It doesn't damage, right? Because you're not vulnerable to it. It's called defense in depth, folks. So please take action. This is an 8-year-old vulnerability, not a 0-day. We have everything you need. You gotta patch it.
IBM Cloud experiences a quantum computer outage. The company sent out an advisory yesterday morning stating, quote, the quantum computer IBM Aachen is temporarily unavailable within the Qiskit runtime service, end quote. Aachen, spelt Aachen, is physically based near Stuttgart in Germany, and the Qiskit runtime is a cloud service that allows IBM customers to use its quantum processors. Aachen came online in April of this year. IBM has not said much about the cause of the outage, but posted in the register, it is known in the industry that it can be difficult to maintain a qubit in a stable state, and therefore current quantum machines can, quote, produce errors or just fail to finish a job, end quote.
I do want to say it is funny that they say, like, this is such a nerd joke. Okay, like, this is wicked nerd joke. In fact, I don't even want to be that nerd. Okay, Zach Hill's going to be that nerd. They say in the subtext, turning it off and on again won't help given its qubits that can have the same state of on and off at the same time. This is one of the core principles of quantum computing. Ha 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 ha. That's hilarious. Okay, Zach Hill, nerd. All right, so IBM's going big on quantum computing. Again, quantum computing is not ready for prime time. But you know, whatever. The work is being done there. Obviously, nation states are very interested in getting quantum computing at least realistically implemented so they can start breaking encryption. But we're not going to be getting Windows Quantum 64 at Best Buy anytime soon. There's a lot to do with you have to keep quantum computers super cold. Like super cold. In order for the for the atomic state to not wiggle basically between 0 and 1. But it's crazy. You get into like multiverse and the Marvel universe was not that far off. I don't think we're getting a Thanos snap anytime soon at Stuttgart, but okay. Anyways, the TLDR is that IBM had an outage at the Quantum Computer Center, but like, I don't know. To me, I'm just going to say this really quick, okay? To me, this is a story Wow. Okay. Hold on one second. IBM actually is selling services to customers to allow them to use quantum processors. So I guess IBM is making money off quantum computers now. I didn't realize that. I don't even know what kind of workloads you would put into a quantum computer. Again, maybe academic research, maybe nation state. I don't know. It's definitely very much on the fringe of like my expertise. Maybe we can get Gary Binder, who actually works at Intel. He's like a quantum computer expert that we have in the community to get in here and talk about this. But basically, there's an outage. I think that this is a story not because it's IBM, not because it's an outage. It's because it's quantum computer, and it's like quantum computer is not nearly as sexy as AI. Sexy? All right, calm down, Zach. It's not as sexy as AI, but quantum computers is like in the conversation with AI. All right, guys. You know what time it is. All right, everybody. We've had a great show today. Daily Cyber Threat Brief, episode 996 on a Friday, Halloween. We did have special host Zach Hill with us today, co-hosting the podcast. Thank you, Zach. It was an absolute pleasure to be here, Jerry. I'd like to say shout out to the Simply Cyber community for having me. Be sure to have fun this Halloween. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend. And I will be at Simply CyberCon. This will be at Simply CyberCon on Monday. So if you'd like to take a picture with me on Monday, come find me in the crowd. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere because it's Friday and we're going to be doing a Jawjacking panel. The panelists are all lined up in the green room. I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoyed the jokes. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you all so very much. Don't go anywhere because we got you covered. Till next time, stay secure.
Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. I am your host, Jerry Guy, coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio, hot off the heels of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, hosted by those nerds, Dr. Gerald Auger and Zach Hill from IT Career Questions. We got a great show for you on Fridays. We do a panel. Here's the deal. If you have cybersecurity questions, career, mental health, tips, tricks, tools, community, just vibes, ask them in chat with a Q, and I will do everything within my power to facilitate. Now, normally I answer the questions, but on Fridays we go hard into the paint, and we've got a huge panel lined up. Ladies and gentlemen, our first panelist, he's a regular, but we haven't seen him in a minute. DJ Bisek, what's up?
Hey.
Say hello to DJ Bisek. All right, also coming hard in the paint, and I think I love his shirt because it's going to make me drink. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Lowry.
What's up, everyone?
It's Atari, isn't it? It's got to be
Is it
Atari.
Atari? Yeah. Atari, drink. All right. Also, we've got a newcomer to the community. He's been on the panel a few times. He's a friend of ours now. Ladies and gentlemen, from High Point, Sean Kilborn. How you doing, Sean?
Good. How are you guys?
I love it. Running an Aero 404.
Lost my costume. Yeah.
Costume not count. I love it. That's awesome. And coming hard, coming from the West Coast, getting up early this morning. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, he invented the word thrunting. Wade Wells.
I should leave the stage just for you saying that. I didn't. I was gonna put on a mask too to like make it better, but I didn't get the time. I was working on something, didn't realize what time it was.
Oh, my God. So good morning to all of you. Thanks for being here, guys. I don't know if you saw, but my costume was Zach Hill today. So Zach Hill co-hosting the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. So super excited about that. Gentlemen, as the questions roll in, I will throw them to you. Ladies and gentlemen, drop them in chat. Let's see.
I got one for everybody off the top of my head.
Yeah, go ahead. Drop it. Bisek had. Go ahead, Bisek. Go.
So this is going to be around. Kind of, Jerry talked about it in one of the stories, but we're going to talk about BCP and DR. So, there was a Fortune 500 company over the last week that did a massive upgrade, a lift and a shift, and it failed. But not only did it fail, they didn't really have a rollback. So, my question to everybody on the panel is: do you ever just lift and shift? And without an actual rollback to say, hey, on Monday we come in and if it's not up by 12 o'clock, we need to roll back instantly because the company was actually down for about 3 days. And we're talking about a Fortune 500 company.
Why can't you just say their name?
I'm not going to say their name on here.
They're protecting the innocent. So the question is business continuity plan, or BCP as he mentioned it, or DRP, or disaster recovery plan. Normally, when you make a change of any magnitude, one of the things you do is test the change, and then you have a rollback plan. But some architecture changes, and this is why a lot of people don't migrate off of 2008 R2 server schema. You can't reverse.
This is, I don't know if I said it, this was a lift and shift. So they lifted from on-prem and put it into the cloud.
Yeah.
And when they did that, basically all systems came to a crawl. So when everybody came in on Monday, it was basically stuff that took them 20 minutes, took them like 4 hours to do.
Yeah. My first thought, Sean, I'm not sure, as someone who works with multiple clients doing, solving architectural problems for multiple clients, multiple situations, my first thought is to ask you, do you have a thought on this for this scenario, DJ Bisek's offering?
Yeah, I would say we probably shouldn't be YOLOing our, lift and shifts. I think that's a really bad idea. I think in this case, doing it, probably going into a weekend and having a rollback or fallback period kind of designated would definitely be a good idea, right? So that way you have enough time to roll back before normal business starts hitting again. I'm not sure if they're in like the retail space or something like that, where it's pretty much never a good time. I'm not really sure what, sector they're in, but still generally not a good idea. I'd say, yeah, definitely rollback plan.
Yeah, my initial thought is, like as part of the planning, like you wouldn't lift and shift on-prem to the cloud as like an isolated plan. This is like a major all hands on deck. You probably had a team of people from like the app team, the systems team, the data team, management, et cetera, like the cloud team, all kind of involved on the execution and the planning of this. And I definitely think that there would have been, like, part of the planning would have said, like, if it's not up by Saturday at 5 p.m., we begin to roll back. Because, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm almost there. It's like friggin' Frodo at Mordor, right? When he's like, oh, I've almost got the ring. Just leave it, Sam. Sam says, just leave it, right? Like, you got to make that decision. And it's a crappy decision because you've already burned everybody's, like, Friday night and Saturday morning trying to solve this problem. You know, at what point are you going to accept the downtime?
Well, that's kind of where I got, or where I was getting when I was talking to people about this, was you as the manager, as the CISO, as the CIO of whatever, when that happens, you've got to already have that plan in place. You should already know that, hey, if we cut over Friday night into Saturday's going, and the IT team has everything up and they see everything running, because we all know in IT, we can do it, right? It's up, it's on. Hey, yes, it looks like it's working. But then as soon as a user gets in, we all know users don't actually use the application as intended. They like to do stuff outside the realm. And when they go to do their, whatever it is that they're doing, that application starts running slower. It's not running the same, or people weren't able to log in. And even if you have people testing over the weekend and you see errors during the weekend, that's where you should start thinking to yourself right now, is this something that's going to cause a bigger issue on Monday? Do we need to get all hands on deck on Sunday to make sure that this is going to work? Or do we start rolling back? And this whole thing ended up happening. I think they started rolling. They got to the point to where, like, Tuesday afternoon, it was like, are we going to roll back or are we not going to roll back?
Oh yeah. That's why those decisions should be made during planning, right? So you're not in the thick of it trying to make that choice. The only other thing I would say is, like, academically, people would be like, oh, let's try to migrate, like, in a dev environment just to kind of see what the problems would be. But that takes time, that takes money, and a lot of people, like, in practice don't do that because leadership's like, what are you talking about? Just do it. Like, plan.
Well, if you have the ability, stand them up side by side.
Yeah. I love it. So if you have any questions in chat or comment on this BCP change management thing, drop it in chat. But we do have another panelist who is coming in that wants to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him because he co-hosted the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Hill. Hi, Zach Hill.
That was a fast flight.
Right? Do I need to stand up because I'm the real Zach Hill, or you? I don't know you at this point.
Brother!
He's wearing a different hat. You got to switch hats.
Yeah. I had to dig for a Run CMD one, but yeah, no, it's good. Thank you, Zach, for participating in my Halloween costume today.
Always. That literally made my day. I was in tears this morning, like literally, like tears. I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. What is going on? It was hysterical. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I love it. Hello
to everybody. It's good to see you all.
So DPrem11 kind of saying, what kind of change management does this company have? Change management 101. I guess just any thoughts from anyone on the panel around, because here's my thing. Change management is like a GRC kind of thing. And GRC people are typically the ones that push it onto an organization. And every time I've ever introduced change management, it's usually initially received as like grumble, but I'll do it. And then it erodes into like, ugh. And then people stop showing up to change management. And a rookie mistake that a lot of people do is they'll put everything through change management, right? Like, oh, like, let's patch the Windows server, change management. And like, it really should be not for that. There should be pre-approved changes. But it's really, really difficult in practice. Wade, you ever seen change management go sideways?
Yeah. So I've had to implement detection as code, if you know what that is. It's change management for detections, not because of it's an automation for detection, but because GRC wanted change management, and I hated them for that. It pretty much turned all the detection engineers into software developers, which isn't a horrifically bad thing. But it helped out, but it was just very interesting that this drive wasn't for security operations, lifestyle, or like automation. It was just because GRC said so. And one of the many reasons I dislike GRC sometimes.
Yeah, GRC can leave a really bad taste in people's mouths if they don't have a good reason for the things that they're asking for. If it's just for compliance sake or because I said so, that definitely isn't going to work for you. Sean, can I ask you, like in your practice, like when you're helping introduce change management or any GRC policy, I mean, do you have any techniques to kind of like make the medicine taste a little sweeter?
Well, it's always a little bit of a bitter pill, kind of like we're discussing here, unfortunately, but really highlighting, I guess, the fact of why it's important and what can go wrong, like showcasing situations like we were just discussing about. One thing that I've done at a previous organization where I was a deputy CISO, we had a failover exercise that we did annually, taking everything from our primary data center and then moving it all over to our alternate data center. And exercises like that really are good to draw out, lessons learned and things that you can do better and things that can go wrong if you actually need to do this in real life. And it really kind of highlights the importance of some of these, things. And it kind of makes all the teams, infrastructure teams, network teams, they all go, oh, okay, I get it. I get why this is important now, right? Because this kind of stuff can happen when we don't want it to happen. So
that also gives you a true time of failover.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when upper management comes in and says, hey, we can only be down for 45 minutes, you can go, well, sorry, it's going to take 3 hours to be able to stand everything up.
Yeah, 100%. Like, again, this is why you should practice things and have open conversations and make decisions. I feel like a lot of people go through the mannerisms of that for like, oh, look what we're doing. We're a real business. And then like the crap hits the fan and then they don't stick to any of the decisions they made or any of the conversations. They just react to all the things.
Well, that's why we do fire drills, right? Because when it actually does happen, then you know what to do. If you've only done it once in the last 4 years and then it happens, you're going to run around like a chicken with their head cut off.
I love it. So really quickly, I see Keith Sloan says, question for Zach and Daniel. But Keith, I'll need the question.
There it is. It just came in.
Oh, down the bottom there? Oh, here it is. Thank you. Zach, we'll start with you. Do you guys have any content on bug bounty chasing? If not, any plans to do so? I'll go ahead and answer that since I'm the real Zach Hill. No, Zach, do you have any?
No, go ahead. By all means.
No, seriously.
Ahead. I want. No, we don't. Not right now. But Jason Haddix is your bug bounty guy, all day, every day.
There you go. Bug bounty.
Jason Haddix. He's your guy for sure. But Daniel, what do people coming up?
Yeah, Daniel, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I don't have anything that's specific to bug bounty. Some web app stuff. People have been asking me about bug bounties a lot lately, and because it's a great way to get some hands-on experience with actual production stuff, and then you can put that on your resume, and you know how that goes. That's a good thing. We like good things. When it comes to bug bounty, you mentioned Jason Haddix. Much love for the J-Had. He is super awesome, but don't sleep on NahamSec either. Got a great YouTube channel, great content there as well. So if you're really looking to get into some bug bounty stuff, those are probably your two biggest heavy hitters. You're going to want to pin. You're going to want to subscribe and like and do all the fun stuff for, and then go check out their content because that's going to be fire. Great stuff.
Absolutely. David Perez asked the question again. I don't know if we answered it or not. To Jason Haddix, really quick, Wild West Hackin' Fest this year. He was a keynote speaker, but because he's so awesome, he actually did another talk that was not scheduled. I think a speaker disappeared or something, and Jason stepped in with a back pocket talk. It was phenomenal. I don't know if anyone on this panel attended that talk. It was basically like his kind of secret payloads on his approach for doing bug bounty today. And one of the things that blew my mind, and if Wade, I'd love your thought on this one. One of the things that blew my mind was that he said, a lot of people think that they'll just stand up a development server in production for an hour to test it, right, in prod, and then they'll bring it back down. And they think, hey, where's the risk in that? It was only up for an hour. No one can find it. And Jason is part of a collective of people, like a little private group of bug bounty hunters that have active searching going on for registrations of subdomains to, within ASNs that are specific to groups. And he gets a Slack notification within like a minute of a new server coming online. And then he's like, it's awesome because we will all stop what we're doing if we can. And we'll try to hack into that thing within the 59 minutes that we know it's probably going to be up. And it's not uncommon for us to get in and get it to it and take it over. And I just thought that was wild from a risk exposure perspective, because I know a lot of businesses that will basically stand it up and prod for an hour and feel like, it's no big deal. Like what's the worst that could happen? Wade, you ever seen anything like that? Something get popped like that?
I probably shouldn't talk about it.
Okay.
No, I definitely have. I definitely have at multiple orgs. The hard part is like one time we stumbled across it within that hour and we're like, what the F is this? Why is this open? And then why, like, there's actual data. And come to find out, like you exactly said, it was a junior developer who couldn't get in. So he's like, oh, I'm going to stand it up for a while and get in. A lot of the times that's why you don't give developers all your rights or only let them create stuff in actual like sandbox environments. It's also very important to have a sandbox environment for them to work in. So
is Jade your red team persona?
Oh, dude, that's even better. Yeah.
I'm just going with this, man. Yeah,
I love it. Jaded logs. Yeah.
Jaded logs. I love it.
Jaded logs. It's the person who doesn't want the logs. All right, I don't know. I'll come up with it. I'll have to make a better domain. Wait.
So Jack Pierce wants to know, since bug bounty was getting spoken about, where should someone start with bug bounty? Zach, guest, do you have some thoughts on where someone should start day one?
Daniel. I can't think of the platform.
HackerOne?
No, not that one. No.
Bug Crowd.
No.
Then, one of my favorites is Pentester Lab. Pentester Lab is great because they specifically are about web applications for the most part, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
phenomenal
so
platform.
even before that, like Juice Shop or something, right? Is like
Juice Shop.
Have you started there first, right? It's
Yeah.
like that would be my go-to. That'd be a great place to start first. And
You talking about like damn vulnerable web or something?
Yeah, like those would be like that's where I would start my learning process, and then I would go to the other platforms once I went through that learning process, like the Bug Crowd, all those platforms. But that's where I would start. You guys could start somewhere different, and I would love to hear.
So not Bug Crowd, but HackerOne has the Hacker 101 Academy thing where they teach you about bug bounting. It's a free platform, and as you find flags or I think it is a flag finding kind of thing, you actually earn points and get invited into private bug bounties as you learn. So it's kind of cool.
That is cool. Another one not to sleep on is Port Swigger Academy. That's directly tied to Burp Suite, so it's like product bent. But like Port Swigger Academy, it is basically the dynamic, maintained education that was Web Hackers Handbook, which was like a wildly successful No Starch Press book, and it's all about web hacking. So I mean, it's not. I mean, most bug bounty, at least I believe, most bug bounty is like web apps and web-based type stuff. But that's a huge amount of information you can get. I do have a question for Sean, though. So getting started with bug bounty, of course, you guys can make money. You can get cred and all this. Sean, you hire a lot of people, right? When you're looking at resumes, I mean, how often is having a CVE or having a bounty that got paid out? Is that move the needle for you at all on candidates?
I mean, it really shows initiative and shows that they've taken it, kind of to the next level of going out there and actually going after live bugs. So that's cool. It's definitely not a prerequisite. I mean, some people, might have more experience on the network pen testing side, or we might be looking for somebody with a specific skill set for a specific hire. So, but definitely doesn't hurt. Can only help.
There you go. You got to have diversity in your resume there. Next question coming in. This is a good one from David Perez. I'll ask DJ Bisek this particular one. He wants to know, what post-grad degree would you recommend for the current and future job market? So I'm thinking, setting yourself up. You don't have to have a degree to be in cyber, but it doesn't hurt. Just like, CVEs don't hurt. DJ Bisek, what do you think, man?
He said postgraduate, so you're going to go for a master's. But man, this job market, at this point, I would just try to get into the job market. It's pretty bad out there. I'd go. I mean, depending on what you're going to do, right? So if you want to be in cybersecurity, you're going to have a master's in cyber. Go for a master's in cyber. I think if you've already got your bachelor's, I mean, yes, if you have the ability to go for a master's, go for a master's. But to me, I would probably do paper tiger stuff. I'd go for the certs and make sure I have certifications and stuff instead of just pounding for 18 months on a master's.
Yeah, if it were me, if say you're
especially now, right? Back in the day, there's so much out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, if it were me, if you're at work and your employer's going to pay for it, all right? So you're just working and taking advantage of benefits that you have. Honestly, I think like a computer science master's, if your bachelor's is in computer science, would be valuable. I don't know if anyone has an AI degree right now, but AI is so freaking blistering hot that if you had a master's in AI, you could probably parlay that into a job. I mean, if you look at Meta right now, and I'm not saying that this is a guaranteed success path, but Meta is like hiring anyone and everyone that has AI remotely in their pedigree, and they're giving them ridiculous sums of money because they're basically these companies are having an arms race to win AI. So
there actually is a master's for AI now.
Okay, yeah,
there's a couple. There's a couple. I've been flirting with the idea.
There's one. Just a quick thing. It popped up and said UT of Austin. You got University of Houston has a master's of science in artificial intelligence. So, they're out there.
Purdue's got one too. I like it.
What about WGU? Do they got one? I'll go.
Yeah, sure. Do it on my own time.
USF has a whole program too.
USF. So there's plenty of.
Yeah, they're out there.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Daniel was frozen there for a second, so it looks like we're good. All right. Hey, if you have questions, this is an AMA panel, so definitely ask your questions. We are here to help. Collectively, there's probably 150 years of cyber experience on the panel right now, or cyber and IT experience, which is wonderful. I do want to have a fun question for the panel. We'll start with DJ B-Sec and kind of rotate around. Any memorable Halloween memories or experiences? A certain costume that you wore that was ridiculous? I have, just share it with us, DJ.
All right. So this is kind of a longer story, but when I was younger, 18, 20, everybody knows Houston Astros. The mascot is Orbit. When I was in my early 20s, I had a friend that actually was the mascot.
You just become best friends. Yep.
Okay.
And we did mascot things all around the Houston area. So we had mascots for different types of companies and so forth. I actually wore those out as a Halloween mascot one time to a bar, and everybody went nuts.
Free drinks?
Oh yeah, free everything that night. I got in, people were like, "Well," so I had dressed up as Tommy Tangram, who was the mascot for Dynegy, who was everybody knows Enron. They were Enron's competitor, and I wore that out to a bar. If you don't know what a tangram is, it's like a little square that you can take all the pieces out and you try to put all the pieces back together to create the square. So I had a big square head and like a triangular body but it was massive. And I'm walking out on the dance floor with this. It was crazy. And of course the head flops. So when I was out there, it was bouncing around. People are going crazy.
I love it. This is great. Keep dropping your questions in chat. I'm actually going to flag them so we can have a queue. Daniel Lowry, I don't want to make any assumptions about any Halloween memories you have. Do share with us, though.
So I lived in Missouri when I was a little kid, and we moved back to Florida when I was around 5 years old. I had never really experienced Florida in the fall. And so I decided to dress up as a mummy where I had thermal pajamas, and then my mom wrapped me in medical tape, and she's like, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" I'm like, "Absolutely. It's going to be awesome." And by the halfway through school day, I am literally dying. I'm a bucket of sweat because for those of you that don't know, Florida in the fall is just summer junior, right? It's still like, 92 degrees outside. And I get home and I'm like, "Mom, it's so hot. When is it going to get cold?" She goes, "It doesn't, son." I said, "Why did we move here?" She said, "I don't know."
She's like, Daniel, drink this gallon of water so you don't dehydrate.
Yeah. There's a reason Gatorade was invented in Gainesville, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Wade, you got one for us as we continue to queue up the cybersecurity questions?
I have too many. I've done like if you look behind me, there's Indiana Jones. Did Indiana Jones with my wife, like the fertility statue is that gold thing. I once dressed up as Care Bears and went with like 3 other dudes and went bar hopping, and the Care Bears outfit was destroyed by the end of it. Mermaid Man was a good year. I broke my phone because I had no pockets and was keeping it in my external underwear. So, because like Mermaid Man, has costume on.
Okay.
I think the biggest one is one year I dressed up as Zorro. This is when I was still in high school, and I think we were juniors, and we went trick or treating anyway. And everyone was going to this house, and I decided to cut through their yard and to go through it. And I didn't realize it. They had one string of barbed wire fence.
Oh.
Like one post, barbed wire. And I ran right into it and shredded everything. And then I got up to the guy, and I'm like, can I have some candy? And he's like, yeah, I should probably take that down. And I'm like, oh well. But yeah, like, I go hard every Halloween usually.
Here's some Band-Aids. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Continuing to queue up the questions. I do see your cyber questions. This is great. We're just having a little bit of fun. Zach, got a memorable Halloween?
I got a shout out to my mom, because my mom crushed it when I was younger. There was 2 Halloweens where she made costumes for me. The first one that I remember that really stood out, and I won first place in the Halloween costume contest, was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. I'm like going through my Google photos right now trying to find these photos because I knew this was coming up.
That?
Dude, I don't even know, but it was amazing. If I can find the photos, I'll put them in there.
I love
but
it.
the other one was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that costume crushed it too. I hope I can find that, and I'll put them in like the Discord so you guys can see. But
She's good with making like fluffy things.
yeah, dude, she crushed it.
I just
love
imagine you running around completely green, like green face paint, green everything, like almost the Green Man, but with a shell on.
Yeah. No, it was legit, dude. I think my face may have been green. I don't remember now. I'm gonna find this photo.
Sean, what's your memorable Halloween?
Probably the most ridiculous one was about 5 years ago. I went as the Tiger King.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That was prime time. Tiger
that
King.
was
It was that year when that whole thing came out, and I went as the Tiger King, and my son was little at the time, and he had this little Simba, like stuffed animal, and I had this picture of me holding it's a lion, but it looks like a tiger, and I got a picture of me holding it, and it's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's probably the most ridiculous one I've ever done.
I love it. I love it. All right, everybody. So I asked in chat, share your memorable stories from Halloween, and we'd love to see them. Now, whoops, hold on. Getting back into the questions here as we're trying to help everybody and anybody. Let's see. Bruise and Hack says, I don't plan on renewing my Linux Plus because I don't plan on going for a sysadmin position. When it expires, should I still list it on the resume? Would it move the needle for anyone? Here's what I do. Best practice, put it on the resume and just put expired next to it. Every single human being that reads that is going to know exactly what it means. It means you didn't want to pay to play.
I definitely feel as like an aging security person, right? Like I'm at almost 9 years. Oh no, I'm at 9 years. I'm almost at 10 years. Man, all my certs are at that point where everything I have to really keep up with them, and they're starting to expire. And I'm just like, nobody cares anymore. I have experience. So I just keep it on there as expired.
There it
Plus,
is.
sometimes your work will pay for it, right? Like you already have the CPEs. You're watching this.
Yeah.
So if your work will pay for it.
That's what I do. Yeah, if the CPs are already there and they're going to pay for it, yes, I'll go ahead and do it. But there's some I've let expire too that I just, back in the day, like Security Plus, I got that thing like in 2006 or 7, and then they came out with a new version and said, now you have to have CPEs for it. And I just said, I don't need this anymore,
Oh, you didn't get the special, like never expires version? I have a couple.
I did. I did.
Oh, God.
But then I had a job where it was a DoD contractor, and they made me go back and get the one with the CPEs. So I had to retake the test, pass it, and then that one I just said, yeah, I don't care about this.
All right. So there you go. There's your question. Bruise and Hacks, absolutely 100%. Arturo says, regarding ransomware detection, would it be useful to alert on multiple Windows file deletions in a short term 4663 Windows event ID, even if no other related events happen, like shadow copy deletions are detected? Now, we are very, very fortunate here to have a detection engineer, Jade Wells.
Jade.
Oh yes.
Wade, what do you think about this? This is a very, very specific technical question.
It's very specific. I'm looking up the event ID to make sure what I know. An attempt was max. Yeah. So I believe that ID will tell you when a bunch of files were all edited at once. You're definitely going to have to tune that to your particular environment, because certain organizations are going to have agents on there that are scanning files for possible DLP or like labeling things that are all going to touch those files as well. Another good one is a lot of EDRs will do this. They'll put canary files places in the operating system and just watch those. And if those get modified at all, or if they even get opened, it'll alert. And a lot of times I find that the users even don't even go to them because they don't know what they are. They're a GUID most of the time. But I would say that is a credible one, but definitely one you're going to have to tune and watch out for false positives.
There you go. I saw in chat people sharing their memorable memories here with us. Cyber Risk, which was a serial killer as a kid, box of Frosted Flakes with a knife and fake blood. I love it. I don't know what year that was, but I feel like Cyber Risk, which that was probably like a late 80s, early 90s kid, where you could do that and it would be socially acceptable. I love it. We got another question coming in here. T Strong says, any good AI governance courses that will benefit me at this time? I don't know of any actual governance courses per se, but I will tell you that MIT does have some great documentation around AI governance and AI frameworks. NIST is working on some of that, NIST special publications. As panelists are answering questions, I'll dig in and get you the links to those. So I'm not going to force everybody to watch me do that right now. But there is a little bit. I just don't know of any courses right now. Would be a great thing for Simply Cyber Academy if someone didn't have like 8 jobs to do it. AAE U7S, may you please share some examples with a cybersecurity lawyer? When a cyber lawyer would be helpful or relevant to any projects you had. Thanks. Ooh, this is a great question. DJ BSEC.
What was
the question is when would be a good time to get a lawyer involved, basically, but not after a problem, like as part of like planning and execution of an initiative.
Like to start everything off? Is that what we're asking for?
Yeah, like say you're having doing a project, right? You're rolling out EDR, you're doing MFA, you're doing an acquisition, you're doing something.
So let's say you're doing a project. Depending on what the project is and what it's going to touch, is it going to go like overseas into Europe? Is it going into California? Is it going into Massachusetts? Or going into Maine? Like, you probably want to get a lawyer involved because of the different frameworks that are put in place in those specific places to make sure that you are going to be abiding by the laws that are in there. That's pretty much all I got for those, especially to start off. When you're going to create the framework of a new project or create something along those lines, that's where you want to get them involved to make sure that you're covered.
I can go all day on this one.
All right, yeah, Wade, drop
on the afterwards. Right?
Yeah, the afterwards for sure.
Like usually most of the time when any type of incident comes up, one of the people you bring into the chat immediately is one of your lawyers, right? Just based on if it is a breach, the time frame in which you have to release that data and not just to the overall organization, but to possibly contracts you have with your customers. Another one is log sourcing data, right? Like how long can I keep logs? Sometimes you have contracts with other companies based on that data alone. So I have all these, I guarantee I have all these logs. So if you do get a breach, but you are still in contract with that particular customer, it's other stuff like email data, it's things like that, and chat data will all go with that. Anytime you make a statement publicly or to a customer, usually it has to be swung by legal at some point too.
Yeah, you usually have somebody that's dedicated for that.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, it's also a great practice just as a GRC professional, like day one, or well, maybe not day one, but like very early on into your job, getting into a meeting with general counsel and talking to them about like, all right, hey, like I'm the cyber person. Like if there's a problem, you're going to hear from me. Also, when we're making decision, like when should we call external counsel? When should we call the insurance company? When should we do these things? Like having that kind of discussion ahead of time would be very valuable. We are premiering right now on the channel, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, Simply Secured. It's the interview with Dan Reardon, aka the Haircut Fish from Culinary Arts to Cybersecurity. I do see a lot of great questions in chat right now. So I'm not sure how to answer these questions really quickly. Let's do a lightning round. All right. I'll fire them to you guys, 30 seconds each. Really quick. Zach Hill, what's your thought on, I think this is CompTIA's Sec AI Plus cert, given your CompTIA history?
Meh. That's all I can say is meh.
All right, very good. Meh. I like it. Sean, what are some tips for course pass or certs around IAM? What do you recommend? 30 seconds on getting
First thing I think of on that one is any type of vendor specific training. If you have access to that, like we have a whole network of partners, so we have tons of vendor specific training for all IAM providers that we partner with. That's a great one. If you're looking at it from the outside, I would probably look at, actually, I'm not too sure. That's really my go-to is the vendor training.
Yes, and SailPoint is like one of the well-known ones in the space that would have some substance and some give to it. Next question for me, I'll take this one. Silence Poets coming in for Simply CyberCon. What are things to do with the kids? Depending on your kids' ages, there's a kids museum downtown that's pretty good, pretty fun. Walking downtown's good. There's an aquarium downtown that's really, really good and definitely worth checking out. And if the kids are like going stir crazy or it's raining, there are like trampoline parks both in Mount Pleasant and West Ashley that are pretty dope. It's called Summit in West Ashley. I live in West Ashley, so I would lean towards that way. DJ BSEC, Shamira Gonzalez, who I asked her for a phonetic pronunciation of her name. I think I'm saying it correctly now. She wants to get into GRC. Would certs in GRC be beneficial for her to get onto the team? So it sounds like internally move.
Internal move. I don't know if you necessarily need certs because they know what kind of jobs you do. There are certs. I don't have them off the top of my head. I know like ISACA certs or something along those lines. But I'd go talk with the GRC team and tell them you're interested.
There you go. Get out there, network, and let them know that you're interested in becoming GRC. I'd even ask them if they think that the certs would help you get on their team, right? Put it to them. Daniel, Tech Grunt says, and by the way, thank you, panel, for the lightning round as we're getting questions answered fast. What are some ideas you have about building in-person practical hands-on workshops to help people get hands-on experience?
Oh, wow. That's a very broad question. Depends on what you're wanting to get hands-on experience with. Like right now I'm doing Android hacking stuff, right? So I'm building an Android system. I also like to mess around with C2s a lot. So I just get into virtualization most of the time. Maybe if I have a few old laptops or anything laying around, I can, in a switch, I can build a small network of things so that I can throw packets back and forth and get into doing some of that stuff if I need to get at the packet level of things. So grab stuff, whatever it is you're interested in. There is definitely a VM you can build for that. And then get that built, build whatever it is you think is insecure, and then attack it with something like Kali. Go in and grab the tools or roll your own if you feel so inclined. And then see how that works. And then see where it failed for you. And then go, why didn't that work? And then analyze that, figure out what's going wrong, try a few things, and you're going to fail your way forward in a lot of stuff. That's typically how I build my home lab stuff.
I love it. I'm going to drop a link to Simply Secured right here in chat. I'm going to pin it as a pinned comment. There was one more question I think I saw here. Rich464, I had taken down the Simply Cyber Telegram channel. Many people didn't even know about it. Rich, if you feel this strongly about it, message me. I do have mechanisms that we can discuss that could basically but facilitate the funding of the channel using blog posts that I get paid for posting. I just don't do it very often. We could certainly talk about that. I didn't realize that you were getting that kind of value from it. Final question. Who is standing right now? I always stand when I stream. Always stand. Lowry. Okay. Do you ever stand? You anti-stand?
I'm not anti-stand. I just don't have a stand desk. So.
Yeah, if you didn't know that, no. I have a standing desk, but I have too much stuff on it, and I'm too scared to make it go standing anymore.
That's horrible.
Yeah, you got to watch that cable stretch. I know. It's a real thing. Yeah. I have a standing desk. Sometimes for my internal podcast at work, I stand. It just totally depends on, how long it's going to be and how I feel at that moment.
Zach Hill, where are you?
I'm standing now. I was not standing, but you guys totally missed it where I just rose up with everybody else.
Oh, I love it. I like standing because I like standing because I like to be able to move and have energy to it.
Well, it's like you're actually giving a talk too, if you're in front of the camera, as opposed to just sitting.
That's a good point. It's like a mental thing, right?
That's like anytime I do a video or something, I'm always standing in front of it.
That's a good point. I do like that idea.
So real quick story for everybody on the panel, and then we're going to have to go. Yesterday, I went to the state of South Carolina symposium, and I talked to a lot of the state agency CIOs and senior practitioners and stuff. And they couldn't get my slides to appear on the projector. So instead of having slides to project, it was just a big white box blasted onto the wall. But I've given this talk a few times, and I could see my slides. So I basically was like, all right, here's what we're going to do, people. I'm going to vividly describe the slide to you in such a way that your mind's eye will see it. And I basically did like some light crowd work. It was ridiculous. It was like a silly TED talk I gave. But yeah, so crap happens sometimes and you got to pivot. So, but yeah, being able to stand and walk around definitely added energy to it. All right, guys. I want to say shout out and thanks to Zach Hill for being a great sport and a great costume this year for Halloween. Shout out to Sean for coming. I appreciate you, Sean. As always, Wade Wells, Jade Wells here today. Maybe we can find her next Halloween. Daniel Lowry bringing the heat as always, and DJ Bisek making an appearance. Might be making more of an appearance in December during the sabbatical I'm taking. We're currently in talks about that, but we'll see how that goes. Feel free to head on over to Simply Secured to hear the Dan Reardon interview. Otherwise, have fun tonight with the kiddos and giving out the candy. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. For the whole panel, thank you all very much. And until next time, stay secure.